There are intense efforts underway tonight here in Washington to stop what some fear is the beginning of the end of a free and open internet. Are those worries legitimate or overreactions? Here's Chief Washington correspondent James Rosen on the president's plan to what some are describing relinquish American control of something you probably use every day.
America built the internet, and we shouldn't be giving it away to our enemies.
In a new web video, a Senate floor speech and legislation, and now a Judiciary Subcommittee hearing Texas Senator Ted Cruz is taking on as his first public policy issue since losing the GOP nomination, a looming transfer of authority involving the World Wide Web. On October 1st, under a plan in place for 2 decades, the Commerce Department will cease to exercise contractual control over a Los Angeles-based nonprofit called the Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers, or ICANN, the entity that approves the .coms, .govs, and other Internet domain names. Instead, ICANN will be governed by a group of so-called global stakeholders. Republicans claim authoritarian regimes will be able to censor the Internet.
If this transition goes forward, would the United States government have any greater ability to defend its position than would Russia or China or Iran?
The important point to take away from the Government Advisory Committee is that for it to render advice that has any force with the board, it has to be consensus advice, meaning it has to be advice to which no government objects. The United States does not wish to cede any sovereignty that we may have over .mil and .gov.
From ICANN's president and CEO, Goran Marby, an impassive Swedish telecom official fairly new to the job, one GOP lawmaker sought assurances about ICANN's physical location.
Is ICANN opposed to including requirements in ICANN's bylaws to definitively ensure that ICANN's place of incorporation never changes from California?
I think we fairly say that the protection is stronger than the justice bylaws.
Democratic Senator Chris Coons of Delaware listed some of those who've written Congress to urge support of the transition.
Signed by Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Dell, Facebook, Intel, Cisco, HP, the Internet Association, the Internet Infrastructure Coalition, the Internet Society, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, articles from former secretaries of Homeland Security, chiefs of staff, ambassadors.
Asked about pending legislation aimed at blocking the transition, either by the withholding of funds or through some explicit statutory override, White House Press Secretary Josh Earnest said it's simply too early to know which, quote, cockamamie proposals by Republicans would draw a presidential veto. And we looked up that word cockamamie. It means ridiculous, Brett, and the Internet didn't block me from finding that out.
Okay, spell it. No, I'm just kidding. James, thank you.
You bet.